You may be recording audio directly into your camera or into your computer with an audio interface, but there can be advantages to using an external audio recorder. So today we're going to take a look at the Tascam DR-60D Mark II. An external audio recorder lets you shoot on location anywhere without the need for a computer, but still to capture high quality audio that your camera just might not be up to. And the other thing is it gives you the opportunity to use a variety of microphones. So you have far more options than most cameras provide. So again, we're going to look at the Tascam DR-60D Mark II. This is a rather full-featured external audio recorder that's available at a fairly reasonable price. I'll have a link from Amazon below. Or maybe you just want to record high-quality audio for your podcast and don't want the large file sizes associated with video. This video is a detailed review of the Tascam DR-60D Mark II, and we're going to do a features overview, and then I'm going to go over the connections and controls on this recorder. We'll also do a self-noise test on its Tascam preamps, and then we'll do some microphone tests with dynamic, condenser, lavalier, and shotgun microphones. So let's take a look. Some of the features on the DR-60D Mark II include being able to record on an SD or SDHC card up to 32 gigabytes, but that's a lot of space when you're dealing with audio files. You can simultaneously record up to 4 tracks, and it records in mono, stereo, dual stereo, and 4-channel at up to 24-bit 96 kilohertz. It had Tascam HDDA microphone preamps that have 64 decibels of gain, so we're going to test that with a gain-hungry dynamic microphone. Independent recording levels for channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. It has XLR TRS combo jacks that give us mic and line level inputs. And it has phantom power that can be independently controlled on channels 1 and 2 of either 24 or 48 volts. Now it allows you to also plug in high output sources on inputs 3 and 4. Features camera out connectors if you want to go directly into a camera from this unit. So that might be an advantage if you want to hook up an XLR microphone to a camera that doesn't have that capability. It also has camera in, so if we want to monitor the sound coming into the camera. We've got independent line out and headphone jacks for monitoring and sound output. The headphone amplifier is capable of driving my Biodynamic DT770s, so plenty of output there. It also features a tripod mounting bracket, so really convenient for portable use. It has a great control functions, soft touch keys, nice backlit display, has a USB 2.0 connection if you want to transfer files to a PC that way, although I typically just take the SD card out and go ahead and do that. It also operates either on 4 AA batteries, can use an AC adapter, and also you can just use any USB battery pack to power this, so a lot of options for remote use. It has a lot of other built-in features, low cut filter, it's got a limiter, delay function, and far more. I won't go through them all here, but there will be a link below. So now let's take a look at the connections and controls on the Tascam. Now, as you can see, this Tascam interface packs a lot of features into a small package. It has a connection on the bottom, a 1/4 inch allows you to put it on a standard tripod or other mount, and then it has an additional mount at the top if you want to put your camera or other device above this. This is removable if you want a more compact solution. Now, as far as connections are concerned, on the left side we have a combination XLR TRS inputs for channel 1 and 2. We also have a stereo channel 3/4 input. There's a camera in, so if we want to monitor the audio from the camera, connection for remote, as well as a camera out low. So this would be, we want to run a microphone into here first and then monitor it into our camera. And that can be useful if we're recording, we want to sync up later on. Then on the right side of the unit, it has the power switch and it has a hold button. So if we want to make sure we don't bump any of the controls, we can simply slide that. And then it has monitoring out for headphones, as well as either camera out, high level, or line out. So this could go into a mixer to give us multiple options for recording and monitoring. So a lot of great connections there. On the back of the unit, we have a trap door that allows us to get to the batteries. And this particular unit will use 4 AA batteries. So if we really need a portable solution, we can go ahead and do that. Gives you about 5 hours of recording with phantom power on. So pretty good use case for that. But what I like is, again, on the right side here, beneath this little rubber flap, we have our SD card. We also have a mini USB jack. And I mean, this has been out for a while, so it's not USB-C, but we have mini USB. And while this can be used for connections into the computer to transfer files, what I use it for most is being able to hook up just a battery bank. So I use a cable and just any battery bank you like, and it gives you hours and hours of use, far less expensive than using AA batteries, and far more convenient. Now, looking at the front of the unit, I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on so you can see the display screen, and it gives you a lot of good information on the screen. I'll go through the features first of all. So the controls, we have level for channel 1, channel 2, and then a combination of 3 and 4. And you see there are switches that allow you to select line, mic, or mic with phantom power for both channels 1 and 2. So this is a lot of flexibility in terms of using dynamic microphones, condenser microphones, shotguns, lavs, pretty much anything we want to plug into this, we can go ahead and do that. It does allow you to play back files on the unit. So we have, stop, play, fast forward, rewind. Of course, the record button is here, and it also has a slate button, and this is basically just emits a tone into the recording that, again, is useful for syncing. A lot of you may be used to just clapping so that you can sync up your audio if you're using an external recorder, but this gives you a little more professional application for that. Beyond that, it has a button for monitor select, and this allows us to choose whether we're monitoring the mix or the camera input. It has a built-in mixer that lets us adjust the balance as well as the level on the various channels, so we can simply go ahead and choose whether we want to have a balance to one side or the other. And again, our level control is here, so very useful. We have a quick button which essentially brings up very commonly used functions. So again, for fast adjustments in the field, really useful. And then we have a menu button, and the menu button is what lets us access really all of the functions of this unit. So when I push menu, we get a number of options. First, we have record mode, and pushing the control dial here allows me to select. So I can choose to record here mono, stereo, dual mono, and you see an indicator comes on, dual stereo, as well as 4 channels. So we have a lot of options here. I'm going to go back to the mono mode. And then we can also choose, where we want to source. So from channel 1, 2, 3, 4 for this particular mode. And then we have input settings, and really allows us to have gain. So we have some coarse control over gain here for each channel. As I continue turning it, you'll see it change now to channel 2, channel 3, 4. And really what this is we can sort of preset where we want to be, either low, mid, high, or high plus gain, depending on the type of microphone we're using. I generally find I can set it at mid, and then make my controls again with the dials on the front of the unit. It does have a limiter function as well as a low cut filter. And this is a nice thing. I can get 40, 80, or 120 hertz. So if I want to get rid of some of these, kind of pops or deep noises that you might run into, this is very useful. It allows you to adjust the microphone delay as well. So if we have a situation where the microphone is at a considerable distance from the subject, that may be useful also. Beyond that, our record settings, this unit will record up to 24-bit 96 kilohertz, and it gives you the option of recording in a WAV format or in a VWF format. So again, a lot of options for high quality recording. You can adjust our sample rate to 44.1, 48, or 96. I usually use 48. And then we have an option for maximum file size. And the idea here is if we want to keep our file sizes to a minimum amount so we can break them up for editing purposes, that's great. Again, I just tend to leave mine at the maximum size here, which is 2 gig, and that's a very long, that's a 4-hour recording at 24-bit 48 kilohertz, so a lot of time there. It does have a self-timer. Of course, monitoring functions are available here, and it has a pre-record function as well. So what that does is it automatically records a few seconds before we actually start the recording. So sometimes if you've ever cut off a recording when you've been hitting record, this can save you from that. It also has a record delay function. So if you want to make sure if there's going to be any sort of noise from touching controls when you hit record, it'll allow you to take care of that. It also features what we call auto tone, and that goes back to, again, this idea of a slate sound for syncing up. And so it allows us to have that set at either the beginning for the beginning and end of the recording automatically. So again, that can be really useful. Allows us to adjust how long that tone sounds for, as well as the volume of that tone. And again, we can enable or disable the slate key if we don't want to risk hitting it by accident. The auto record function is just that. It allows us to start the recording automatically based on volume level coming in. So that can be useful in some situations where you're doing all the production yourself and you don't want to be running back and forth to the recorder. It also allows you again to play back, as I said earlier. And the playback settings, we can look into the folders, and if we want to continuously listen to one file after the other, or we'd like to repeat files, we can do that as well. And then we have our browse section, which is just that. It allows us to browse the files on the SD card. And in the other section, we have different things. We have information in terms of a file that might be on the system, file name. We can decide to have the file names categorized by a word. So here it just says Tascam, but we can make that whatever we like. Or we can have it automatically insert the date for us. So really useful there. It also allows us to reset the counter, which I do periodically. You can see right now the next file recording is going to be Tascam_0051.wave. It allows us to set the date and time. We can adjust for different types of remotes, and so depending on which controller you might use, you might have more or fewer functions, so really useful. And then it has a system option here, which gives us things like auto power saving, if we're going to use a backlight, contrast, kind of batteries, so it'll know if we're using alkaline or nickel metal hydrides here, if we want to use plug-in power as well. So just a tremendous wealth of control we have here on this unit. And as I say later in this video, now I'm going to be testing first the self noise of these Tascam preamps, and then we're actually going to test a variety of dynamic microphones, condenser microphones, a lav mic, a shotgun mic, both a short shotgun XLR microphone as well as a camera mounted XLR microphone. So a lot of hopefully great information for you to help you decide if this is a good use for you. So let's go to the self noise test for the preamps. Okay, so now I'm using the analyzer on Reefer to give us an idea of how much noise we get from the preamp. So I started out at 0 gain, and I'm gradually going to increase all the way up through full gain. I have a 150 ohm resistor hooked up to XLR input number 1 while I'm doing this. So it gives us the impression that there's a dynamic mic hooked up to the interface. However, the noise is going to strictly be from the preamps themselves. And as you can see, we're getting very low noise from these preamps. So very, very usable for most recording situations. I hope you're enjoying this video and finding it helpful. If you are, consider subscribing. It helps out the channel and it lets me know the kind of content you'd like to see. Now let's get back to the Tascam DR-60D Mark II, and we'll test it with a variety of microphones. Okay, so now we're going to do some tests on the Tascam DR-60D Mark II. I'm going to use a variety of dynamic, condenser, lav, and shotgun microphones here. So a really good cross-section of kind of all the use cases. And I won't be processing the sound at all, but I may boost it in post. So just take a look at the lower thirds, and it'll tell you what I've done as far as gain and any boost in post. So let's start with the Behringer XM8500, a gain-hungry microphone to test the preamps in this audio recorder. Okay, so now we're on the Behringer XM8500. I have the gain set at 4, so it still has some room here, and I'm about 6 inches off the microphone, so fairly standard use case for a dynamic mic. And this is what the recording sounds like. And so again, on the Behringer XM8500, this time I have the gain maxed out, so full gain on the audio recorder, just to see how clean of a sound we can get when we max out the preamps on this unit. Okay, and now I'm on the Neewer NW-040, another dynamic microphone. I have the gain set at 330, and this is what it's going to sound like. This microphone's a little less gain hungry than the XM8500, but still I'm driving it here quite a bit on the preamps. So we'll see what it sounds like. So now I'm on the AKG P170. This is a condenser microphone that's normally designed for instruments, but I've done a previous review video as this as an audio option for vocal. So just using the phantom power now on the Tascam, just to give you an idea that we can drive a condenser microphone, and I'm a little further away from this mic. I'm probably about 8-9 inches, and I have it set slightly off axis to help out with the plosives. So this is what it sounds like. So now I have the Boya BY-M1 lavalier microphone connected directly to the Tascam. I have the gain set at about 12 o'clock, and this is what the sound is like. This is great if you want to, again, carry this interface around with you and have your recording pack all in one place, or use a wireless one as well. But this is the lav I have, so I thought I'd test it out for you. So next I'm going to test the Takstar SGC-598. This is a camera mount shotgun microphone. I'm going to actually place this on the camera. It's going to be about 30 inches away from me, but it'll be connected directly into the Tascam recorder. Okay, so now I'm recording onto the Takstar SGC-598. This is an inexpensive shotgun microphone designed to be mounted on cameras. I have it about 30 inches away from me with the gain set at 1130, and this will give you an idea of an inexpensive shotgun microphone connected directly to the Tascam recorder. Okay, and now I have the Synco Mic D2 connected directly into the Tascam with 48 volts phantom power. I'm running the gain at 1130, and this will give you an idea that we can drive an XLR shotgun microphone without pushing the preamps at all with this interface. So again, for recording, if you need to use a boom situation, this could be another great option for remote use locations as well. Okay, and now we're back on the Synco Mic D2 connected directly into my Focusrite Scarlett 8i6 interface. And so I hope these comparisons of the various dynamic, lav, condenser, and shotgun microphones have helped you get an idea of the versatility of this unit. I have to say the recording quality, I believe, is very good on this unit for the price. And so it could be an option, especially having a backup recording is not a bad idea. And that's where the pass-through is so useful. Another application would be if you have an interface that actually has outputs for additional monitors, you could connect this directly up to the Tascam recorder and create a backup recording of all the recordings you're doing with your interface. So really a lot of flexibility, a lot of options here. I hope you enjoyed this video again. Consider checking out some of the other videos that might be on the screen here. And as always, take care and bye for now.